Tonight is our confidence class again. And I need some, given what I just went through this Zoom call. But before we start, I'm going to run through one little thing that I was thinking about earlier today. And that is what we say to ourselves. And so I wanted to give an example of two people, and they each get an email from their boss. And so the first person, and the email is a little bit vague, and the first person, probably me in this circumstance, takes the email and starts thinking, oh my gosh, and this email came on Friday, by the way, oh my gosh, he's mad at me, I've done something wrong, what did I do? You know, we're going through redundancies right now. I wonder if I'm being made redundant. And then the mind just starts going crazy with this scenario of what could be behind this email, right? And then you take this other person who gets exactly the same email, and that person's like, oh gosh, it sounds like he's had kind of a bad day. So then you put those two people in their weekend, and just imagine the difference in the weekend that these two people have. Because the first person, AKA me, reads this email and just builds this like story in our head about how bad this could be, how I'm going to be made redundant, how. And then the second person is just like, oh, he's had a bad day. Now, my point of all this is that a long time ago, that would have really upset me, because I would be reading into these things much more than I should. And I would internalize it and worry. And 9 times out of 10, probably 10 times out of 10, it was absolutely nothing. And so the reason that kind of this tracks back to confidence is because that kind of thinking really wrecks your confidence, needless to say, because you're thinking the worst. And had I, been more confident, I've been like, look, I've done a great job this year. This is nothing. This can't, there's no way he's upset with me. I've not done anything wrong. And so it's just like, that goes back to what we're trying to do with all this yoga, which is step out and just check in what our mind's doing. And when I learned to do that, and I sort of stood back and looked at what was going on in my head, I could see how it didn't make any sense. So I'll stop preaching there. I just always want to try to bring a little bit of that into each of our classes, because obviously this is what, to me, this is the passion, and this is what the most of what I got out of yoga. So I try to bring that a little bit to each of these classes. So I'll stop with that. And then I want to say that tonight we are doing another sun salutation. And we've done sun salutation standard version. We've done sun salutation A. Now we're going to do sun salutation B. And I think you'll enjoy it because it's a little more challenging. And there are more things to it. And not only will we do the sun salutation B, but I wanted to show you a couple of things that are options for our sun salutations that we haven't done yet. I just want to show them to you. And then as we continue practicing, you can practice them. They're a little bit tough, but, and don't try to do it all at once. Just kind of think, okay, well, that's what we do. And I'll keep that in mind, and then have a practice here and there and see if you can get it. And then after we do our sun salutations, we'll do sun salutation A, we'll try this sun salutation B, and then we'll do just a little flow as we normally do. And then we'll do some floor work, and then we'll finish. So hands on knees, please. And we close our eyes. Maddie's already snoring, bless her. So just start breathing normally. Bring your focus inside. And tonight, what I want you to do is focus on your hands on your knees, and that's it. So as you breathe, inhale and exhale, just imagine that as you inhale, you're bringing oxygen up from the tips of your fingers all the way up your arm and into your chest. And as you exhale, the same breath is going down your arms all the way to the tips of your fingers and out. So just for 2 or 3 breaths, just visualize that, just so you can concentrate on that movement and that feeling. from here, just keep your eyes closed. And we're going to do our Ujjayi breath just a few times, just to get ourselves ready to see if we can bring that into the practice tonight. So if you recall, what we do is as we inhale and exhale, we just close the back of our throat a little bit so that there's a hissing sound. It's a lot easier to do when you're exhaling, but see if you can do it when you're inhaling too. So here we go. Let's do 8 of those, and I'll count for you 4, 4. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Okay, just sit tight, and I'm going to show you, before we start our warm-up, the little move that I want to introduce to tonight's practice. Come on, Maddie. So when we're doing our sun salutations, what we've been doing is and I'll use the sun salutation A. So we're inhaling, arms up. We come down into forward fold. Then we do a halfway lift, and we're flattening our back here. Now, what we're doing, and what is absolutely fine to do, and we can continue doing that for the rest of time, is we step our feet back into plank, and then we push ourselves up into chaturanga, and then we come into upward facing dog, and then we move back into downward facing dog. And if you continue doing it that way for the rest of time, that's fine. If you want to know a little challenge, what I'm getting ready to show you looks easier than it actually is, but I'll show you how to do it. And then if you want to try it tonight, I'll call out the cues and you can try, but be very careful, because this is a move that is putting a lot of stress on a lot of different joints in your body and on your back. So you need to be very careful and do it properly. Cue for you, I don't even know if I'd try it. If you have a little bit of a pain in your lower back, maybe not even try it, but I'll show you anyway. So we inhale, arms to the sky. We exhale down into our forward fold. We come into a halfway lift, and here we go. We plant our hands, we bend our knees, and we jump back into chaturanga. Now, that is the move. So what we're doing is we're not stepping back into plank and coming into chaturanga. We jump back. A couple of things. We should not jump back into plank. That puts too much pressure on the back. So if you do want to try this, again, we're coming down and we come into this flat backed halfway lift, and we bend our knees, we look forward, and we're planting our hands on the mat. We bend knees, and as we're bending our knees, we're bending our arms. We're not keeping our arms straight, and we shoot our legs back. And sorry, I'm falling, but we come down into the chaturanga. We go straight down into chaturanga, because to jump back and land in plank puts way too much pressure on your back. So that's it. That's our little trick for tonight. If you want to try it, I'll call it. If you don't. It took me a long time to get it. I was jumping all over the place, and anyway, but it's fun if you want to give that a go. So from here, let's come into all fours for just warm up. And I'm going to give you some more little tips on alignment. And the first one that I want to say is hand alignment. So when you're on the mat, and you're on the mat a lot in yoga, your hands are planted in front of like your chest. Your wrists are underneath your shoulders. Your finger, your index finger should be pointing forward. So you might have your middle finger pointing forward, but actually your index finger should be pointing forward, meaning your pinky is turned a little bit out to the side. So that, if you can remember, is a way to keep your hands. You should have your fingers gripping a little bit onto the mat, but don't lift the palm of your hands off the mat. You're just gripping a little bit. So that is really, if you want to have proper alignment with your hands, then that's how to do it. Just keep your index fingers forward, grip your fingers a little bit onto the mat. Shoulders are on top of your wrist. From the back, we've talked about this before, but your knees are under your hips. And this is the proper way. Your spine is straight. You're not arching. You're not sinking. You're not rounding. So here we go. We'll do our normal warm up. We're going to start with cat-cow here. So get ready. Inhale. Tailbone lifts. Chest lifts. Shoulders move back. And we're looking up. Exhale. Round your spine. Look down. Inhale. Arch spine. Look up. Curl your tailbone to the sky. Exhale, round and look down. Inhale, arch and look up. Round and bring it down. 2 more. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look down. Tailbone tucks. Tummy is tucking in towards your spine here. Inhale, arch and look up. Tailbone lifts. Chest is lifted. Shoulders are coming back. And then exhale, just come into neutral here. Really nice. From here, we'll do our thread the needle. So inhale, right arm comes up to the sky. Exhale, bring your right hand underneath your chest, land on your shoulder. We're only going to hold this for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, 1. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale, right arm comes back up. Exhale, bring it down, back to neutral. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, left hand goes under chest. We land on our left shoulder. Hold here 2 breaths. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, bring it back down. Very nice. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, right arm comes up. Exhale, right hand under chest. Land on your right shoulder. Hold here for 2 breaths. Inhale, right arm back up. Exhale, bring it down. 1 more on the other side. Inhale, left arm comes up. Exhale, thread it through, fold down. Inhale, left arm comes back up. Exhale, bring it down. Really nice. From here, just take a nice inhale. As you exhale, start coming back, back, back. We're coming into child's pose. Rest your head on the mat. Take a couple of nice, relaxing breaths here. From here, I just want you to bring your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers and just stretch your arms up over your head in child's pose. Really stretch out your shoulders here. Take a breath. Next exhale, just let your arms fall down by the sides. Hold here. Let your back just loosen up here. Just let it go. Inhale, reach your arms out in front of you. Next inhale, come up on all fours. Tuck your back toes. Lift your hips. We're coming into downward facing dog. In this downward dog, we're going to pedal our feet, but we're going to do it with rhythm together. So just take an inhale and exhale. Next inhale, bend your right leg, push your left leg or your left heel into the mat. Switch sides, exhale. Inhale, switch sides, left foot comes down, exhale. Really push your sit bones back here and get a nice stretch as you're doing this. Just pedaling out feet, right to left, doing a little bit of slow movement here. When you inhale, come up on both your toes, and then as you exhale, just bring yourself back into downward facing dog. Hold here. Now as you inhale, just slowly walk your hands up to your feet. We're going to start our sun salutation A. So inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms to the sky. We're going straight into it. Look up at your thumbs. Upward salute. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Take a breath. As you exhale, push with your toes forward, come down into chaturanga. Inhale, come into upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. As you inhale, walk feet to hands. Come into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up to sky. Upward salute, look at your thumbs. Exhale, as you exhale, just bring your hands down by your sides. Now, we've gone through mountain pose before. I want to go through it one more time. So the right alignment in mountain pose, if you can, is to have your toes together. Your ankles can be slightly apart. If you find that there's a little bit of issue with balance, you can always bring your feet hip distance apart, but if you want the correct form, you'd bring your toes together. We're going to come into the first round of our sun salutation B with a couple of modifications. We're going to do 1 round with modifications, maybe 2, and then we're going to launch into a proper sun salutation B. So from here, arms come down to sides. Then just point your hands or your palms of your hands towards the front of the room. Inhale, bring your arms to the side. And as they get halfway, lift your hands to the ceiling and bring your hands up into prayer. As you exhale, start to bend your hips. We're coming into chair pose here. Again, your hips come back. Your knees are not overextending over your toes. Your toes are together. You're down into this nice chair pose. Your back is flat and your chest is lifted. Your abdominals are coming in towards your spine. Hold here. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, swan dive your arms and come into your forward fold. And in this forward fold, I just want you to bring your hands to your elbows and just hang here for just a minute and let things loosen up a little bit. So you'll feel this in your hamstrings. If you feel your back rounding, as we've talked about before, just bend your knees and let your chest fall towards your knees. Take 2 breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, just let your arms drop down. Place your fingers on the sides of your feet. And then inhale, come into your halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. Take an inhale here. And an exhale. As you inhale, use your toes, push yourself forward so that your heels are over top of your toes and your shoulders come above your wrist. And as you get into this position, start to bend your elbows. We're coming into chaturanga, or the right version of the push-up. And then inhale, push your chest up, push your knees towards the mat, but don't let them touch. And if you can, look up. If you can't look up, then that's fine. And if you're finding it difficult, just bend your elbows, but then look up. As you exhale, come back into downward facing dog. So we've done a lot of these yoga classes, and I want to go through the issue of bringing your foot in between your hands. because some people find that difficult. Lee can't do it at all because he's so tight in his hamstrings, he can't do it. So to make it as easy as possible, just bring your feet together. If you find that you've had trouble bringing your foot in between your hand, you can even walk your feet up a little bit. So what I want us to do here, lift up on the balls of your feet, inhale your right foot to the sky, and even point your toe for now. As you exhale, bend your knee and bring your knee into your chest. And when it gets towards your chest, move yourself forward using your shoulders, just push forward. And then as you exhale, flex your foot and bring it in between your hands. And that is really the easiest way to do it. It's even harder to try to do it slowly like that. But if you struggle to get that foot between the hands, that's the best way to do it. If you find that it lands back a little bit, just pick it up and put it in between your hands. From here, we're going to come into just a high lunge. So inhale and just come up and put your hands on your knee. So in this way, our back foot is pointing towards the front. This isn't a warrior one. This is just a high lunge. And so from here, just inhale, bring your arms to the sky. This is a little more difficult to balance than a warrior one, but just hold here for a couple breaths. One more breath. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down by your foot. Step back into plank. Push yourself up and fall down into chaturanga or push-up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very good. Okay, take maybe 4 breaths here. Just take a little break. We're going to repeat that on the other side. Okay, just start bringing your toes together. Maybe walk up a little bit. Inhale, lift your left leg to the sky. Maybe point your toe here. As you exhale, start to bend your knee, bring your knee in towards your chest, and then as you get to your chest, flex your foot, bring your foot in between your hands. We're going to come into our high lunge again here. So just lift up, hands on knees. We're in a high lunge. If you can, just inhale, arms to sky in high lunge. Also, if you want to, it's proper etiquette to put your hands in prayer and look up, but that can be a little difficult with balance. I tend to prefer to look forward. Take an inhale. As you exhale, swing your arms around, place them on either side of your foot, step yourself back into plank. Take an inhale and an exhale. Next inhale, start using your toes to push you forward. Then come down into your chaturanga. Then push yourself up into upward facing dog. Look up. Come back into downward facing dog. Very nice. Now we can do 1 or 2 things from here. We're going to make our way to the top of the mat. You can walk, or if you want to take a little hop, it's the same principle as we did before. So bring the toes together. Bend your knees, get up on your tippy toes, look forward, and then hop forward. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. As you inhale, use the tips of your fingers, touch the mat, and then push yourself up into chair pose. So your knees are bent. You're coming back into chair where we started. Take a breath. Next inhale, lift yourself up, upward salute. Exhale, swan dive your hands down. Mountain pose. So that's Sun Salutation B. We did the Sun Salutation B a little bit slowly. We'll do it a little bit faster this time. And we also did it with a high lunge. This time we're going to do it with Warrior One, which is the proper way to do it. And the talking that I did about coming up onto your toes to do the step through and the hop, I'll not go through that again, but just keep that in mind. And this time, you probably were practicing more on just the movements that time. Let's see if you can integrate Ujjayi breath this time. Remember the oceanic sound. If you can't remember to do that, that's great. So we're going to start. Remember, hands are down by your side. Your toes come together. Your heels are slightly apart. We're standing in a nice mountain pose. Legs are engaged. Tummy is tucked in towards the back of your spine. Your chest is lifted. Your shoulders are down. Your hands are down by your side. Face your palms forward. Inhale, start to lift your arms up. As they get halfway, turn your palms to the sky. Raise your arms up to the sky. Look up. As you exhale, start bending your knees. Come down into chair pose, Utkatasana in Sanskrit. Take a breath. As you exhale, swan dive down. You're coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, or you can jump back into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold your down dog for maybe 4 breaths. So from this down dog, remember, we're coming this time into warrior 1. So just take a couple of breaths here and get ready. Lovely. Bring your toes together. Maybe walk up a little bit. Get up on tippy toes. Inhale, left leg comes to the sky, way up. As you exhale, bend your knee, bring it to your chest, and then step it through. Ground your back foot in an angle and start to slowly swan dive up this time. Your arms to the sky. We're coming into warrior 1 here. So shoulders down away from your ears. Knee is over your right ankle, looking forward, or if you want, you can bring your hands into namaste and look up. If you want to do the really, really right version, take a breath. As you exhale, bring your hands down by your right foot, step back into plank, move yourself forward, come down into a push-up chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Very nice. Hold here 2 breaths. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, bend and bring it through between your hands. Ground your back foot. Lift your arms to the sky. Come down into your warrior 1 here. Take a couple of breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down beside your foot. Step back into plank. Inhale. Come into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice. Take a breath. As you inhale, get up on your tippy toes, bend your knees, and hop up to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bring your arms up, sink down. We come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Look up, take a breath. As you inhale next, come up straight, hands come into prayer. Exhale, bring it down. Very nice. All right. We're going to do that one more time. Really quick this time, just for a challenge, just to see how we go. And then we're going to do some floor work, just a little bit. Here we go. I'm not going to say a lot this time. We're just going to run through it. Here we go. Hands down by your sides. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, come down into chair pose. Sit it down. Take a breath. As you exhale, come down into the forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank and then into chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Next inhale, right leg comes to the sky. As you exhale, knee comes into chest, and you step yourself forward, ground your back foot, lift your arms. We're coming into warrior one. Hips are square to the front. Look to the front or look up. It's up to you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, hands come back down alongside your foot. Step back into plank. Move yourself forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lovely. We're going to do the other side now. Just take a breath. One more. Lovely. Inhale, left leg comes to sky. Exhale, knee to chest, step it through. Ground your back foot. Lift your arms slowly to the sky. Warrior one. Take a breath. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands down by your foot. Step your foot back into plank, and then push yourself forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really nice. Hold here. 2 breaths. Next inhale, get on your tippy toes, bend your knees, and hop. Up you come. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, come down into your pretend seat. You're raising your arms to the sky. Hold here. Next inhale, lift your arms to the sky. And the prayer. Exhale, here we go. So, now you know Surya Namaskar Classic Variation, Surya Namaskar A, and Surya Namaskar B, and you know Moon Salutation. So, things you never thought you wanted to know, but you do. So again, you're doing all of these sun salutations absolutely spot on. If in time you want to add that little jump back, and or if you want to add that little jump forward, by all means practice that. It's not necessary. It's just whether that's something you want to do. Okay, here we go. We're going to make our way down to the mat for some floor work. So just inhale slowly, your arms to the sky. Hands in prayer, look at your thumbs. Upward salute, exhale, down we come into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back into plank. And from plank, just lower your knees and push yourself back into a tabletop that we started with. And remember to keep your forefingers facing forward. Again, you're kind of gripping the mat a little bit, but you're not lifting your palms too much off the mat. And we're just going to take a breath here in. And we're going to push our hips back into child's pose for just a little breather. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Next inhale, come back up. Cross your feet over each other and just take a seat behind you. Very nice. Let's bring our legs out in front of us. Our spine is straight. Maddie, it's not time yet. I'm sure you're coming anyway. Hello, darling. Okay. So we're going to do a seated forward bend. So just, again, if you have your belt and want to use your belt, then by all means do that. But otherwise, just inhale, arms up to sky. And as you exhale, start to take your tummy and start sucking it in so you can build some traction to start bringing yourself down. Come into this forward fold, only as far as your spine wants you to. You'll feel it in your hamstrings nonetheless. So just come down. If you want to just drop your head a little bit here, that's fine. We're just going to relax here and do some Ujjayi breathing. Maybe 5 breaths.
And remember, in all of these poses, when you inhale, let off a little bit, but when you exhale, pull it down a little bit more. Two more breaths. One more. Beautiful. Start to walk your hands up as you inhale. Lovely. Now just bring your legs out into a V shape. Kind of lift yourself up to make sure that you're sitting on top of your sit bones and not hunched over here. Now, again, we've done this before. I'm not facing you, but I think you get the gist. What I want you to do is inhale, arms to sky. As you exhale, turn yourself to the right and start coming down or folding forward to your right leg. This one, you should feel a stretch in your inner groin area on the right side and a little bit in your hamstrings. And again, just come down as far as you feel you need and start your really nice Ujjayi breaths, very even inhales and exhales. This is all about stretching out and becoming more flexible. And also just letting go of any stress you might be holding. Ujjayi breath 3 times. One more. Really nice. Start walking fingertop to fingertip to fingertip up. Maybe hold on to the inside of your legs and just stretch your spine straight. Hold here for a breath. Now inhale, arms back up to sky. Exhale, turn your chest towards the left and then bring yourself down, down, down. I see Queen Caroline with your strap. Put it over to the front of your, the back of your foot, right underneath your toes, and just pull a little bit. We're going to hold here and breathe. Ujjayi breaths 5 times, really even inhales and exhales. Two more. Then start to inhale your way back up to center. Come to the center and just bring your feet together. We're going to do a quick bound angle pose. So feet are together. Maybe walk your hips up towards your feet as much as you can. Very nice. Hold on to your ankles and pull just to straighten your spine and look forward. Just enjoy that opening in your groin area. That feels really good for me. Inside the groin and the hips, we've talked about this before, you hold a lot of stress there. That's where you kind of, especially if you're sitting all day, you're sitting in front of a laptop all day, which is what I do, then this is where it all comes together. It's in your hips, groins, hamstrings. You hold a lot of tension in there. So just see if you can grab your ankles, just pull and let some of that go. Now take an inhale. And as you exhale, just start leaning forward very slowly. Maybe hold on to your toes if you can. Don't have to come forward too far. We're just stretching out our inner groin area. Again, as you inhale, release a little. As you exhale, see if you can let your knees fall just a little bit more towards the mat. You're just stretching things out here, opening things up. Hold here, 2 more breaths. Beautiful. Inhale, come up. Bring your knees together. Bring your legs out straight in front of you. Now just inhale, arms to sky. And as you exhale, just start slowly coming down, down, down to the mat, really slowly. When you get to a mat, inhale, right leg, bend it up. Your right foot should come to the inside of your left knee. Take your right arm out to the side. Take your left hand and touch your right knee. Take an inhale. As you exhale, just use your right hand to pull your knee over to the left side. And see if you can keep your right shoulder on the mat or the floor and look over to the right. Hold here. 3 breaths. Just close your eyes and let things go. You'll feel this in your lower back, particularly on the right side. Just see if you can breathe it into that area. And then as you exhale, see if you can feel anything that's holding there, just to let that go. That little area right in the lower back, right side. Inhale. Exhale. Let things go there in that one little area. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Use your hand to bring your knee back to the position right beside your left leg. Then bring your arms down to your sides and just let your right leg fall to the mat. Inhale, left leg comes up, knee is bent, left foot is on the outside of your right knee. Take your left arm out to the side. Take your right hand, place it on your left knee, and just bring your left knee over with your hand. See if you can keep your left shoulder on the mat and come over as far as you can and look over to the left side. And do the same thing that we did to the right. See if you're feeling that little bit of stretch in the lower spine on the left side this time. And breathe into that and see if you can just let go of any stress you're holding there. 3 breaths. Beautiful. Inhale, bring your left knee back up. And then exhale, just bring your legs along the mat. Coming into Shavasana here. So just drop your hands to your sides. Let your feet roll away from each other. We're going to stay in Shavasana for 2 minutes. We're running a tiny bit late, but not bad. So just sink your whole body into the mat. If you're feeling any tension or anything that's not pleasant in your body, just see if you can let that go with your breath. Nice, normal breathing. As you inhale, see if your tummy's rising. Sorry for Maddie snoring. Okay, start wiggling toes and fingers. Big breath. Maybe bring arms overhead. Nice stretch. Now bend your knees. Roll yourself over to the right side. Use your left hand just to pull yourself up into a nice, comfortable, easy pose, seated position. Hands to heart center. Namaste.